For the parents of Bobby and Christi Shepherd, their search for answers and justice has been 9 years of agony. But their wish to see new laws to help prevent further tragedies will take far longer. Deadly fumes from a faulty boiler leaked into their holiday bungalow in Corfu. So now there's a push for new EU-wide minimum standards to protect holidaymakers against carbon monoxide. Earlier this year, it had the support of safety groups and campaigners, but others were less enthusiastic, notably the then coalition government.
It's not acceptable. The government need to act now. I don't want any more excuses, any more passing it around like a hot potato. And we need some help to move things forward.
So why is that change not happening? We met Sharon Wood, the mother of Bobby and Christi, to show her part of a document which may help explain why. Published in March, this was the UK government's response to the European Commission's consultation process for new consumer laws. It stated, the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, who is responsible for tourism policy in the UK government, has asked that we make clear in our response that while recognising this is an important issue, it was a significant piece of work and extremely resource intensive. He felt this was not a good use of EU time. In our view, a European safety standard would impose an unnecessary cost on tourism businesses in England.
And did you think when they said it wasn't a good use of EU time, did you find that upsetting?
Extremely upsetting. I've given 10 years of my life to campaign for change, and the government think it's something that they don't even need to consider. Reading between the lines, not a good use of their time means there hasn't been enough deaths to justify them actually doing anything about it. It's all about statistics, I would imagine, and about the money that would need to be spent.
The family's Labour MEP in Yorkshire, who has led the calls for a law change, says she's also frustrated at the lack of progress.
The European Commission can only act if they can get agreement from governments, because they can't just push a law through. Governments have to agree the laws, and so without a push from governments, we won't get a new law. We won't get progress on this matter.
It took travel company Thomas Cook nearly 10 years to apologise after the inquest ruled the firm had breached its duty of care. Sharon Wood held them responsible.
Thomas Cook could and should have identified that lethal boiler.
Tonight, 5 News can reveal that she'll now take up an ambassadorial role with Thomas Cook, where she hopes to work with them to raise awareness on carbon monoxide and fund research.
I'm incredibly proud, actually, that Thomas Cook have realised the mistakes that they've made and that there is something positive that they can do in light of Christi and Bobby's deaths. They're an industry leader, and I really do hope that we can forge a good alliance and move things forward.
But Sharon concedes moving things forward will ultimately need extra support from the UK government and other European ministers.
So, Julian, what's the government's response to this?
Well, Emma, we've contacted the Department for Culture, Media and Sport to clarify those comments. I should clarify that the consultation was back in March, so they are responding on behalf of the coalition government. Now, they've said this is a tragic case stemming principally from the failures of the hotel management to adhere to existing national safety standards. That's it, a far from fulsome response, if we're being honest. The Culture Secretary at the time was Sajid Javid. He's now the Business Secretary. And we had asked for clarification on that comment made in March that it would be a waste of EU time, a comment which so upset Sharon Wood there. What the DCMS is essentially saying is that the tragedy happened because of Greek laws. They're responsible for UK laws. But the wider point from the campaigners is that without the UK government and other governments getting involved in this, that laws won't change Europe-wide. Sharon has been pushing for nearly 10 years to see changes, and she stresses that one message, that no death is insignificant.
Of course. Julian, thank you very much.